Hey, what's up everyone? This is a long-awaited video, I guess. I've been really busy lately and I haven't had a chance to upload everything, but this is a brief tutorial on how to color images in Photoshop. Real basic. After you'd scanned your picture, or however you got it on here, this is just a shitty camera phone picture that I had uploaded. From my previous videos I was showing you how to shade, render with pencil, and this is what I had gotten. Alright, so first off you're going to open up your image in Photoshop. I don't know what versions you're currently using. I'm using CS6 from the Creative Suite 6, the new one. Most of the other, I'm not going to do anything advanced, so everything that I do is going to be able to be used in previous versions of Photoshop. Okay, so you're going to open this up. First thing I do is I go to Images, or Image at the top, go to Image Size, and I make sure that everything is at 300 resolution. I just changed this before the video, but it was at 72 resolution, and I change it to 300 because the standard for high definition pictures, a lot with photo manipulation, you're going to want it to be 300 to 600 resolution, because the more pixels you have, the more it gives you to work with. 600, it makes a huge file. You can see it'd be 113 megabytes, which is too big. That's for like advanced prints, not advanced prints, but like prints that are going to be used for reproduction, like in books and crap. It's going to be 600. Too much. It saves a lot. Just set it at 300. Okay. Your basic upload is going to have a layer 0. That's going to be, if you don't have your layers up here, under your tools, you can always go to Window, and this will be all your tools that it shows on screen. So I don't want any of these. I usually just keep up history, layers. Maybe I'll have my brush or brush presets, but no, I'm not worried about it. Just as long as I can go back and I can see what layer I'm on. So make sure layers selected. And then you're going to want to unlock your background with that lock button right there. And for the sake of time and to avoid confusion in the future, it's good to always rename your layers, or else you'll end up like me and have a bunch of layer 1 through 90 fucking 100, I don't know. So we're going to just say this is the background. Don't touch. No, we'll stress it with don't fucking touch. Hopefully it'll stick in my head to not do that. This is your base image. You always want to save your base image so that if you screw up or fall asleep or whatever it is that you do to screw up, you can always go back. I mean, you can always go back through the history, but if you don't have it selected to infinite history, you're only going to be able to go back a certain ways. So once you have that, you can lock it if you want, unlock it. You're going to want to make another layer. There's a layer tool at the bottom of this, or you could just go up to the top, layer, new layer, and you can name it. Actually, we're going to name this one the background. We're going to go back and rename this base image. Makes more sense that way, I guess. Enter. And you're going to want the background to be under this layer. Then you can lock this background or whatever when you're done, but first you're going to want to go over to your fill tool. Fill this with a base color. I don't know, whatever you want the background to your image to be. I'm going to just choose white for right now. I usually go back and change it depending on what the image looks like at the end. But then we're going to lock this, so this one can't get touched. And the base image be on top, so that way you'll still see the background through if this is gone. Cool. And finally, well, not finally, but the next step would be to make yet another layer, and we're going to name this one base color. And it's going to be on top of the base image. And right up here you have your blending, or your layer blending options, and we're going to select color. So that way this colors whatever it's on top of. So this is going to color over this, but you're still going to see the base image through it. I'm going to select your brush tool, your basic brush, and we're going to select a soft brush, not stiff bristle, or bristles, I don't know, whatever they're called. And up here you have your options. This should be set at 100 to default, but these are your brush options. We're going to select this one. If you're using a stylus or a graphics pad, it's going to give you the options to set your brush size based off pressure that you touch with this. I mean, you can do this all with the way I'm showing you now, you can do this all with just a mouse or whatever. You don't need a graphics pad, but I'm using a Bamboo by Wacom. It's a basic like $100 graphics pad. I mean, it does everything I need. I need to get an upgrade, but for right now, I mean, I suggest anybody getting into this field, if they find it even just a hobby, just to get your basic Wacom Bamboo tablet. They made advances in the past year. They have them where they're wireless now. I'm using one that's USB, and I mean, they're just really decent. It's a decent tool for the price, but I want this unselected. I never use this one. What I have up here is the option to use this as an airbrush, so it gives you a steady stream, and this is opacity based off pressure. So the harder I press down, the darker the line's going to be to simulate, or better simulate a pencil. Whoops. That's my recording software, don't mind that. It's called ScreenFlow. It's by Mac. You can get it from the App Store, it's pretty sweet. Kind of pricey, but... Alright, so we're going to set this opacity here for the pressure thing. We're going to set it about 80%. That'll be good. Oh, that gives you a better pencil feel. Wow, it's so hard to set this with it. Okay, 80%. And then we're going to go from our swatches over here. I have this selected to painting. This is basically it's preset, tool presets. I have painting because it has what I need out of it. I don't do 3D crap, whatever, as much. But I'm going to select something that looks like a flesh color. This looks alright. Like I said, soft brush. And I'm going to make it decent size so it doesn't take forever to fill. But since this is set on color, all the lines below it should show through. So we're just going to color this in real quick. This is one way of doing this. Like if you want a more, I'm doing it this way to kind of keep the texture of the paper. I think it's kind of a cool effect. If you don't want that and you want it to look solid, like an anime cartoony kind of look, you can go through, it takes a lot longer, but you can basically redraw this, kind of like what I did with the Goetia Shadows book. I redrew all the lines in Photoshop, so I like drew it twice pretty much, to the point where I just got to where I was just drawing in Photoshop, not even keeping some of the originals. It was just quicker that way. Alright. These videos are all going to be, like I've stressed before, real time, so if any of this bores you, just feel free to skip ahead. I won't complain. And if you want to see more of this type of thing, photo manipulation, which I might do for my next video, feel free to comment or like these videos and I will continue. I'm working on my YouTube channel, so these don't have to be all uploaded through Facebook, but at the moment YouTube is, I didn't do many videos on my own channel before, so they're only allowing me 15-minute uploads, which is not enough for me to ramble as much as I want to. You don't have to really keep in lines because you can always color over this, but once you get this base color down, I'm going to fill in the eyes with like an off-white or a white, whatever. which if you're doing it the colorway, it's kind of already done, just the background of the paper. Let's see, we're going to give him blue eyes, I guess. Trying to do these videos a bit quicker too, because last time it was a bunch of rambling and stuff. I don't know, it was a mess. Alright, if this isn't as bright as you'd like it to be, you could always go back to your base image, and you go to this burn tool, or not burn tool, dodge tool, and you're just going to go around the area that you want it to show up more in, and it's going to kind of illuminate it. So this makes it brighter, so more of the color shows through. Gives you kind of the effect the eyes, the real irises look like. I'm going to go back to the base color, fill this in with black. Doesn't really want to affect it. Oh, it's still in that color dodge too. And when you have the layer selected to color, color blending, it's not going to really show the black lines like you want it to. So you're going to have to make another, we're going to make another layer over this. This is just to get your bases anyway. You don't want to put your blacks or dark colors on your base. The hair, I'm not going to worry about the hair right now. This is just going to be kind of a short video. Alright, once you have the base color down, if you want to change anything with that later, it's cool. It would be safe to go and make another layer and call this your midtones. And we're just going to keep this at normal blend. Yeah. And then we're going to take a darker skin color, I guess. And still keep it as a soft brush. The opacity can be all the same, because this is not going to be color mode. This is going to be normal, so your colors are going to be darker right now. And then we're just going to go through, and if it's not on color, this is going to go over your lines, so be careful, be warned. We're going to go real lightly with that. And just fill in the midtones. My basic forte when it comes to art, I guess, is figure drawings and portraits, so I kind of just do this based off where I feel the color should be going, but this could take practice if you're trying to get highlights, lighting effects, shadows, or whatever. So if you go faster than this, feel free to skip ahead in the video. But you can even do just solid colors and stuff like that, depending on what you're doing. It brings me to a good point. You're going to make sure that when you're coloring stuff like this, if it's not vector art, it's just art for like portraits and stuff like this, you're creating an image, you're going to want your mode for your image mode. It's going to want to be an RGB color. CMYK is for more, let's see if I can do it different. Oh, no, it's going to merge these. But CMYK is for more like lighting effects when you're doing photo edits and stuff like that. Better preserves it, or vector art, I think. Don't hold me to that, but that's just what I do. Vector art and pixel art are two different things. I don't know, I could describe that completely different in a different video. I'm still, you know, new to this whole thing myself. I never took any art classes. The ones I did that I failed in high school. Never took any in college. I was a psych major, so this is all just luck that I was naturally I had a natural affinity to art, I guess, which is good because it helps me describe what I'm thinking sometimes, because I'm not really good with words unless it's written word. I probably have some sort of fucking autism, I don't know. Alright, once you kind of have your base color down, or your mid-tone, you can actually keep this on the same layer. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I do all this with the same layer, all the coloring, but this is just to help you not get confused if you want to do any changes later on. If you want, like all colors, I don't know why they have all these swatches. This is for being lazy, I guess, but like even when I'm painting, any color can be made for the same basic color. Darkening a color, it's all used with different amounts of black. Lightening a color is different amounts of white. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this, well I guess for the sake of the video, I'll make a new layer. And we're going to make this the low light, or shadows I guess we'll call it. And I'm going to change the opacity of the brush to 50%. Or somewhere close. We're going to keep it on black. We're going to make the bristles bigger. And these are going to be our shadows to give it depth. You could also use the color burn tool, I guess, but I use that more on pictures, stuff the color's already there. And I'm just going on really lightly with this, because if you press down and keep covering, it's going to eventually go all black like that. But, which is hard to do if you don't have a stylus. So if you're using your mouse, you might want to change your opacity to be lower. If you get too far into this, like where you're looking at it later and some colors just don't fit right, but you can't go back in your history, like this area here, I'm not liking how that's looking. You can always go over here to your brush, right click, and there's a mixer brush tool. And you're going to select a soft brush like you have been. And what this does is you go up here to sample all layers. And this will take color from all these layers and make a flat image. Well, sort of. And you can just kind of bring the brush up and it smears all the colors kind of. It's like a smudge tool. We're going to make it smaller a little bit. It's really good for blending if you're trying to match pixels or textures when it comes to photo manipulation. It saves you time with midtones too, because you can go from a dark tone to a light tone, and this will kind of add to the midtone. It'll like blend it for you, which is cool. But keep in mind, once you have this on sample all layers, this is going to show through. Oops, what am I doing here? And like I said, it depends how you want the image to look. Don't use the mix color brush tool or mixer tool if you're going to want to keep this texture. This is going to be for more like a solid color anime kind of look. It'll pretty much eliminate texture and just blend the colors over. But what you can do is you can always change the opacity of the level or the layer itself, make it lighter, and then your bottom layers, under layers will shine through still. Alright, well, I'm going to make this about 77%, I guess. 75 will work. Go back to my brush tool. Continue to color it in. The shadows, anyway. I really hope this is influencing you guys. Not influencing, but inspiring. If it is, I'd like to see some of the stuff that you're doing art-wise. If you want to post it on my Facebook, I'll gladly take a look at it and give you my opinion, give you any tips or feedback that you want. Or if not, if you don't like criticism, that's cool too. But you don't grow without criticism, so. I've had a lot of times in my past where I've seen really good artists or really good writers not appreciate criticism. And when I try to edit their writing, or if I try to give them tips on what they should do with a picture, they ignore it, and then their careers really go nowhere. You gotta learn to roll with the punches, I guess, learn from it. One of my best college writing classes was one where the professor purposely graded me harder than everybody else because they saw more ability than what I was trying to show, and I didn't really. I mean, I aced the class, but that was based off performance. I guess I really never got an A on any of the papers because they didn't think that I was applying myself to the fullest, which I probably wasn't. I had a full plate that semester. Alright, what we're going to do now is go back to the midtones because I wasn't done here. And now that we have the shadows in, we're going to add some white to the eyes. Alright, and we're going to add a little bit different color to the face. I don't really want this plain peach tan color or whatever it is, so I'm going to make it more of a dead kind of look. So I'm going to add a lot of greens and a lot of blues because that's what the body does when it loses oxygen. It loses color and it gets cold. So this is like a grayish. We're going to go to colors that remind me of the water. This is the water color, water tone, greenish blue, I guess. gonna go with a dark. I'm gonna lay that on real light. If you want to, like if you're using a mouse, you can even make a new layer and change the opacity for this. If you can't handle the pressure or the opacity with the mouse, I don't know. If you're working with an image that has a background already, what I'm doing right now, you could pick the darkest color out of the background. Like if you have a sunset or something like that, a dark red, and you could be doing that with a background color. It helps blend the images. Right now I have no background, so that's just what this is going to be, blue. But when you're, like you can take an image that you've drawn and blend it with a real photograph or whatever. Like I've done a picture that I've drawn with a background base of a sunset like that. I just take the red and make that the darkest tone. It's like the light effect, I guess. It's a lighting effect. And then we're going to want lighter colors because you lose your melatonin when you die, whatever. Your skin's going to get pale. It's a light yellow, I guess. We're going to go to the mixing tool. I'm going to kind of blend these. No, it didn't work out the way I wanted it, so we're going to go back to the regular brush and lightly brush over that. This could also be used in a highlight layer if you wanted to make one separate for that. I'm going to make one in a second probably. But I use basically just white on my highlight. But you could use any shade of light color. I'm going to go back to shadows actually, since I don't want to make a line layer. You can make another layer for lines if you feel like it. But depending on what you're doing with a picture, this isn't going to be necessary for some, but if you're trying to make it look more cartoony, you're going to want a solid brush. And we're going to make this real small, about 17 pixels. I'm going to zoom in, and we're just going to outline some key features, like the lid of the eye. I'll still keep this at 50% and just go over it a few times. But you don't want to redraw every line that you did in pencil because that'll make it look like it's in pencil. It's just as for defining features. Oops. When I run out of techniques to talk about, I'm probably going to end up storytelling in these videos because I feel like there's an uncomfortable silence, but it's probably not. It's just me feeling like I have to blab. And you always want a little bit of dark color in the eye, or the ball of the eye too, because the eye is a sphere and you got to show dimension, or else it looks like a flat white, and that's no good. Back to mid-tones. Guess I'll color in his eyebrow. I just didn't decide what color his hair was going to be, but we're going to just use a brown, I guess. I'm going to make it a hard brush. Oops. There we go. When I was shading this, I kind of lost the definition of the eyebrow in pencil, so the straight, stiff bristle brush will give more definition. Go through with a darker color, I guess. Oops. And go around like edges. And then we're going to make another layer, I guess, the highlight layer like I was talking about previously. Above all, I'm just going to select a white. Sorry, my throat is fucked up. I'm not finishing this whole thing, this is just going to be a quick tutorial. And we're just going to brush over where the light would hit. Top of the eyebrow, bridge of the nose, lighten any colors that you might have gotten too dark with a shadow. I think I used too much blue in there, so we're gonna go back to our midtones yet again. And we're going to select, let's go with a gray, dark gray, darker. We're just going to brush over these blue areas a little bit. Shit. Cell phone's going off, that's distraction. Guess I'm a wanted man. I wish. It'd be so cool to be on the run. Just kidding. Alright, so you can see kind of how I do my work. Like I said, this will be it. The next video I'll probably be posting will be a tutorial on how to photo manipulate and blend images, like the one that I did of my friend Jen, the biomech thing. If you have any suggestions for videos, I'll be sure to post them. Well, not all, but ones that I think I can do. So thank you for watching and taking your time. This has been Adam Iniquity, and this is coloring basic images, drawing. Thanks.